Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Jets Landing Zone Week 10 edition. I am your host, Walt, and today we're going to be talking about the Jets versus the Cardinals over in Glendale, Arizona today. Um, there's really nothing much to say, so let's just get right to it. The Jets head down to Arizona to get absolutely spanked by the Cardinals 31-6. This was a game that showed some promise really at the beginning because the Jets, even though they were down 14-6 early on, uh, it seemed like the Jets were kind of moving the ball, but there was some you can see that there was going to be a disaster here because as well as the Jets were moving, they couldn't find a way to get into the end zone. And it really boils down to the fact that this Jets defense is just not the same Jets defense that we've seen in years past. Kyler Murray, 22 of 24 for 266 yards. He had only one touchdown, but two incompletions all night. That just boggles my mind. And it we weren't missing guys because DJ Reed was there, Michael Carter was there, Sauce Gardner was there, Tony Adams was there. We finally were getting healthy in that secondary, and it didn't make a difference. This defense, I don't know what it is, but you could tell from the very beginning they were unfocused. These guys just don't know how to tackle. They're lousy with fundamentals. I mean, there was literally, I believe, in the second quarter, and it kind of encapsulates what this Jet defense is. There was a crossing pattern by the Arizona tight end, Trey McBride. Sauce Gardner wrapped him up, and in trying to throw him down and tackle him, got just shoved off. And this guy proceeded then to go right down the field for another 10 yards, hurdling Jet defenders all over the place. This is what this Jet defense is, and I don't know what it is. Well, I could tell you probably what it is. I think, and we've mentioned this before, Robert Saleh's firing, not the intended outcome that Woody Johnson wanted. I think when he fired Saleh, he thought there was going to be a spark to this team, and it's quite the opposite. This team has just, especially on the defensive side, this team has just gone right down the drain. They are a shell of what this defense was prior. There's no other way to say it. They just looked disinterested today, and missed. The Cardinals were running all over the place, wide open. There was one play in I believe the fourth quarter when we already knew that the game was over, but literally, one of the completions for Kyler Murray was a ball that he threw when he was falling down. It flew up there like a duck. It looked like it was up in the air for at least 10 to 15 seconds. And the Arizona receiver caught it. I think it was McBride again. And the damning part is when he caught it, there was not one Jet defender on that screen. He was about as wide open as you can be. You could literally drop an atomic bomb on him and nobody would have gotten hurt. That's how wide open he was. I can't with this team. And I think I've gotten to the point here where I'm just numb to all of this because a couple of weeks ago, we had the Patriot game. I got on this very microphone here and just ranted and raved like a stark lunatic for about 30 minutes on how disgusted I was with this team and how disappointed I am with this team and how I could not understand how this team here, with all the so-called superstars, and we're going to have to talk about that because I just don't see it anymore. But with all these so-called superstars, especially on offense, to be held today by an Arizona Cardinal defense that had no pass rush whatsoever previously, the 24th ranked pass defense in the league, and you couldn't get anything going. Aaron Rodgers' numbers, again, 22 of 35 for 161 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. You look at that and be like, he didn't have such a bad day. With Aaron Rodgers, with this offense, I am sick and tired of seeing the 3-yard slants, the 5-yard outs. Everything that Aaron Rodgers throws right now is 10 yards and under. You cannot succeed in this league like this. And that's, again, we're going to go back to those first 2 drives, because those first 2 drives, they played pretty well. The problem is Aaron Rodgers. The problem is Todd Downing. The problem is Nathaniel Hackett. The problem is Jeff Ulbrich. Once you get past that script, teams adjust. Defenses adjust. They figure out, and if they haven't figured it out already, it's already 10 weeks into this. They can figure out that Aaron Rodgers does not have the capability to push the ball any further than 10 yards anymore. And you saw it in this game, because after those first 2 drives, the Jets were done. Nothing else after that. Because you know why? They have a coaching staff on the other side of the field where they know how to make adjustments. The Jets do not. And I hate to say it, Ulbrich is probably going to be gone. I like the guy. I thought he could have been a good coach, but he was thrown under the bus by this organization and never truly given a proper chance to be a good head coach in this league. And he'll probably do it someplace else. Maybe he won't. But the fact of the matter is, the Jets, for the longest time, have had a coaching problem, and it hasn't changed since then. I think the last decent coach we had was probably Herm Edwards, and he wasn't all that great anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with the Jets. So, I mean, we can go on and talk about, hey, special teams was pretty decent. We got a kicker that could actually make a couple of kicks. But what is gonna be the writing on the tombstone for this era of Jets, the Saleh era, if you want to call it, is the fact that this is a team that whenever prosperity and opportunity is facing them, they always find a way to fail. Going into this game, everybody said, if the Bengals lose, if the Colts lose, if the Broncos lose, the Jets have a really, really good shot at making the playoffs, despite everything that's gone on. Despite all of that. They had an opportunity, if all those 3 things happen, to move into the 8th spot, 1 spot out from the wild card. And guess what? The Bengals lost. The Colts lost. The Broncos lost. Everything was there right for them. All the Jets had to do was win. But how many times have we said this during the Saleh era? If the Jets only win, they'll be in the playoff hunt. If the Jets only win, they'll have a share of first place. If the Jets only win, we've heard it time and time and time again. And every single time we've said it, the Jets have gone out and laid an egg. Every single time. I cannot remember of one time where we said, you know what, the Jets took advantage of the situation as it was presented to themselves and went ahead and won the game as they should have, as they could have, as they needed to. So, it is what it is, and let's take a look at next week, because I'm not even going to talk anymore about this game, because you know what, we've said it all before. We've said it time and time again, and the Jets are what the Jets are. That's it. So next week, the Jets are coming back home They're coming home and they're playing the Colts, who lost this week. Okay. This would have been a great opportunity had they won to kind of further solidify themselves into getting back into the playoff hunt with a win if they had won this week. They didn't. So, you know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen because this is the Jet way. This is such a Jet thing for the Jets to do. They're probably going to win that game. They're probably going to beat the Colts. There are probably going to be a lot of really good things that happen in that game, and everybody's going to get excited, and everybody's going to say, hey, the Jets are back. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the Bengals lose. That's a possibility. Maybe the Broncos lose again. That's a possibility. And we're going to be back into this whole fantasy world where, you know what? The Jets, if only they go into the next week and win. And you know what? Looking at that schedule again, they have a bye. So at least they won't lose. But the whole point that I'm making here is that the Jets have been notorious for giving us hope. And I think as Jets fans, we have to understand, as we've done before, but you know what? We keep coming back to it and we keep doing the same old thing all over again. We have to understand that it's false hope with this team. This team has not shown that they are capable of handling prosperity. And that's something that Aaron Rodgers, ironically enough, said at the beginning of the season when I believe they started out with like started out winning some games, right? He was like, okay, here we are. We've done this. Now let's see how we handle prosperity. Well, Aaron Rodgers, I think you got your answer. We do not handle prosperity well. That's just the way it is with the Jets. It's same old Jets. I hate that phrase. I really do. But you know what? It's same old Jets. Because again, the Jets tease the fans. They say, hey, guess what? Shiny object, right? Look at me. We can actually probably, maybe, hopefully make the playoffs. It's right in front of us. All we have to do is do one thing, and that's win. And then come game time, they don't do it. And that is what being a Jets fan is. All right, guys, I told you this is going to be a quick because, again, there's really nothing left to say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, when you go into halftime and your two top receivers have only gotten 2 catches, and again, you're playing the 24th ranked pass defense in the league, that says it all. So enough of that. I'll see you guys next week. Maybe they win, maybe they don't. But hey, until then, go Jets.